I don't think that my spaceship is supposed to be inside my building. You okay there? For those of you that watch my streams over on Twitch, link in the description if you're interested in checking that out, you will know that I have a keen interest in science. I always have. I've always had that kind of curious mind that wants to know all the answers to all the unknowable questions. Therefore, it should come as no surprise to you all that I like a good space game once in a while. It's actually been a very long time since I played one though. I think the last space-based game I played was actually EVE Online.
Greetings, pilot, and welcome to the start of your journey in New Eden.
I used to be addicted to that game, but that's another story. Like many people, I was very intrigued by the idea of No Man's Sky back before it came out, when there was just trailers and a lot of hype around it. But I didn't really buy too much into the hype. I'd been disappointed and burnt too many times by games to do that. So I kind of waited for it to come out to see what it was like, and unfortunately, it was widely regarded as a big flop. And therefore I just ignored it and never bothered keeping up to date with it. However, in recent times, it has become clear to me that the game has come on leaps and bounds, even winning an award at the Game Awards for most improved game.
The Game Award goes to No Man's Sky.
So for a while now, I've been thinking about giving it a go, and I decided that I'd make a little video to document the process. I think so right off the bat, the first thing I would say about No Man's Sky is that it is a very beautiful game. And not in the kind of way that the graphics are super high, detail or anything else. It's certainly not the most detailed game that's out there these days. But it's just got a charm to it. It's got something about it that just draws you in. The visuals are very well designed to do what it needs to do. It really feels good to inhabit this world, and I enjoy playing it. Even from the first hour or so of gameplay, it drew me in with its visuals. And another thing that became very clear to me early on is that this is clearly a game that's taken a lot of inspiration from Mass Effect. For those of you that don't know, Mass Effect is a space-based RPG made by the BioWare of old. And in that game, it had a gameplay loop that was based around landing on planets and searching them for resources, and then going to search another planet and another planet, and you would just build up a bunch of resources from it. It was a very, very fun gameplay mechanic, or gameplay loop to many, including me, and I really enjoyed just exploring all these different worlds. And to me, although I may be wrong, it really feels to me like the developer of No Man's Sky also really enjoyed that gameplay loop and thought to themselves, well, what if an entire game revolved around that mechanic, but fully fleshed out with a lot more gameplay mechanics in there? It really brings back a lot of that nostalgia for me, and that's a great thing. Having played this game for about 8 hours now, I can really see the influence it's had on games that have come out afterwards as well. For example, Subnautica, where you have to search for hidden blueprints that will allow you to build new technologies for your base, and Valheim, which has an extensive terraforming system, may or may not have been based upon the basic terraforming system that is present in No Man's Sky. Now, I do feel this game has some problems, and I will get to those later. However, the game really is a lot of fun. The feeling that you get from just exploring different worlds and gathering resources and learning new blueprints and building technologies, and the ability to build basic bases for yourself and to fly from the surface of a planet directly into orbit and turn around and see the planet in its totality, and then fly off towards a space station where you can meet and trade with different NPCs and be able to take missions that you can then go off and explore. It kind of reminds me of playing Freelancer back in the day. It gives me those similar feelings, but in a package which is less confusing and easier to pick up. And I think it's safe to say that this game really does capture that sense of curiosity in me that makes me want to play more, that makes me want to explore and take in the ridiculous scale of this world. Hyperdrive has no fuel. Oh my god! What? What? Is it going to stop anytime soon? Now, I did say that there was some problems. The first thing I would like to mention is that the mouse and keyboard controls absolutely suck. Now, it wouldn't be the first PC version of a game where the mouse and keyboard controls weren't very good. However, I thought it was worth a mention for this game because they are some of the worst I've ever experienced with any game. Because everything is built around sub-menus and radial menus, and trying to like navigate this UI on the keyboard just sucks. Now, to be clear, it works very well with controller, and I'm very happy playing the game with the controller. I'm just a passionate individual who likes playing with mouse and keyboard, and harks for the old days when games were actually designed to be played on mouse and keyboard. Because my God, the things that you could do in those days were amazing. But radial menus and sub-menus were really the death of that medium. Another issue that I had is that when you're sort of wandering around planets, there's like icons that show up to show you where things are. And you can actually mark those icons to help make them more visible so that you can actually go out to where that is. But unfortunately, quite often when I would be getting near to one of these icons, it would disappear and I wouldn't be able to find it. And to make matters worse, if I use my scanner to try and find it again, I'm so close to it I can't see it. Because I can only see the icons that are far away. I can't see the ones that are really close. So a lot of the time I ended up getting really frustrated trying to find where the thing I was looking for was, even though I'd already marked it. Where the fuck's my copper? And when you combine that with the fact that there aren't any maps for the planets themselves, and no ability to leave waypoints or notes for yourself beyond the ability to pin one point on the planet at a time, it can become very frustrating very quickly trying to plan a route where you can try and do multiple things at once before coming back to your home base. Another problem that I have with the game is how you save it. You can't just save anywhere, anytime. You have to save at specific locations. And while you do get an item a little bit down the line that you can carry around with you and place anywhere you want to save the game, if you're anything like me and are ADHD as hell, unless you routinize picking it up immediately after you've saved the game, you're going to leave it there and you're going to wander off, and when you do want to save the game again, you're not going to have it to hand. So all of this kind of necessitates that you need to plan when you're going to stop playing the game, at least in the early innings until you get this particular save item. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, this is cool. The new player experience as a whole is actually quite good, I think, for a game of this complexity. It does have some sort of structured missions and it tells you kind of exactly what you need to do. However, one of the things that really frustrated me, at least for the first 5 or 6 hours, was inventory management. Because this game doesn't have any way for you to store many items at the start. You do eventually get storage containers that you can put things in, but until then you have very limited storage slots available both in your inventory and on your starship. And the problem with this is that the game kind of encourages you to loot everything, to break things down and pick up all the resources that you find that you can use later on or sell them. So what this means is that you'll either need to go to a space station to sell some of your stuff, which you might not even be able to do because you might not have enough fuel to take off at that moment. Or you'll have to actually discard items because the game doesn't even allow you to drop items onto the floor. For some reason, it is a futuristic world in which it is completely impossible to just put an item down for later and come back for it. Now, although I've indicated some of the issues that I found quite frustrating, to be honest, none of them are game-breaking for me. For example, with the inventory issue, it does become a lot easier once you kind of understand how it works and that you've got enough fuel at any given time and you get to the point that you have storage containers so you can start filling those up. Yay! Oh, fuck yes. But I just kind of feel like they could have approached the inventory stuff a little bit differently. And the icons disappearing, although that's quite frustrating, I don't think it's going to stop me from playing either. I think overall this game is something kind of magical. I think it's got some wonderful atmosphere and curiosity created through its design and gameplay loops that have honestly pulled me in very, very quickly. And I really feel like I could still be playing this in 80 hours time. Oh, this is pretty. It reminds me of Cloud City in Star Wars. This is very cool. So overall, I really think this game is a very, very fun experience. And if you've ever enjoyed EVE Online or Freelancer or any other kind of space game that fits that bill, you're probably going to find something that you like here. And I think the new game experience, although I've indicated some frustrations that I've had with it, I think if you're willing to persevere a little bit, you're going to get through it. And these things that I've mentioned really aren't bothering me so much anymore. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like, subscribe and bell icon so that you get notified whenever new videos go live. Now you'll have to excuse me because I've got some more of this game to play. Cheers. Hello. What's up, little man?